Hello all, it's Dave from Tanked Up Life. An update on my 20-gallon high. Not happy with the way this tank is going. I did add some more fish. I had some blue neon tetras. I kind of regret it now. I kind of like the two species kind of look. I don't know. They don't seem to go. Whereas I have a lot of ember tetras and glow light tetras. I don't know these. I like neons. I got them at a great price. You know, nothing horrible, but I feel like it kind of broke up the look of the tank. But obviously, they're here to stay. I also got a koi beta, which I was a little iffy on, but this guy is just absolutely stunning. Just got him yesterday. He was a little aggressive. I think he was trying to kind of scope out his spot. I never had a betta that was immediately territorial. This guy is, but he seems to be leaving everybody alone. Yesterday, though, the minute I put him in the tank, he was kind of chasing everybody around, but today he's mellowed out. So I think he found his spot, maybe under these leaves. I'm hoping that he moves under the tree trunk. That would be ideal home for him. So we'll see how he does there. I think I threw in a couple more ember tetras and a couple more glow light tetras. That's really it. I'm trying to get some more pygmy cory cats. I don't know. Everybody seems to be out of them. I have some really, really young ones in here. Not enough. I really don't know if I'm gonna. I might put some cory cats in here, but I don't know because they're probably gonna. They might mess up the sand. But anyway, let's talk about what this video is about, and that's that I'm not happy with this tank. I cleaned this tank yesterday. I did a 75% water change, because the water was just not clear, and I did have algae growing on the back wall, and I don't know what it is. Well, I think I know what's causing it. If you even actually look at the intake for the filter, there's still algae growing on it. Now, if you go to my, if we skip over to my 30-gallon, which is very, very similar with almost the same plants. All right, so here's my 30-gallon, and this tank is still just running absolutely spotless. There's still almost no algae. It's just healthier. The plants are healthier. It's just doing better. And what's odd is that these tanks are pretty much, the maintenance is exactly the same on them. So why is this tank looking good and the other tank is not? Well, I think I know why, and it's because of the substrate. So back to the 20-gallon. So the 20-gallon is using UNS Systems Contra Soil, which is this nice fine sand. It comes in multiple colors. You see I put some orange shrimp in here. Put about 10 orange shrimp in here from my Fluval Spec 5. They're actually doing really good. Anyway, this is using Contra Sand, and under it is UNS Contra Soil. And there's two issues that I have. One is that if I move anything around, I get the Contra Soil, which is these little brown beads. They come up like all over the place, and I can't keep adding sand and adding sand and adding sand. So I guess I could sit there with a little, like a turkey baster. I have one for aquariums, so I don't know exactly what they're called, and suck all those up. But, I could sit here for hours doing that. The fish sometimes stir it up. But I think the issue is that is putting too much nutrients into the water, because I've not even been fertilizing really this tank. I've fertilized it very, very infrequently. So I think that the issues that I'm having with the algae and whatnot is actually being caused by the substrate. Now, if we jump back to my 30-gallon. All right, so my 30-gallon is using fluorite black sand. Now, this is what I've always used. I've used fluorite for years. This sand has been in 3 different tanks already. I just keep rinsing it and reusing it. And fluorite, at least from what I read, although it doesn't have nutrients in it, but it does have iron in it. You don't need to supplement with iron if you're using fluorite. But it basically does a really good job of absorbing, the nutrients that are in the water. And then, the plants then suck that up. So like in the past, like when I broke down my 28-gallon bow front to set up this tank, even though this fluorite was black, it was filthy. I mean, you could start seeing the dirt building up under it. But again, it was running in a tank for years. All I did was rinse it off and put it back in this tank. And there's no issue with the amount of nutrients that it gives off. So I've always used this. I've always had great experience, with the plants. I mean, look at my plants in this tank; they're still doing great. I did do some light trimming yesterday. This plant in the back, which I still don't know what it is, it's a very light plant. They're constantly coming up to the surface, so I did have to put some plant weights on there. These clay plant weights. I'll show you guys in a minute and glue them down. But anyway, this tank is just doing a million times better than the other tank, and the maintenance program is the same. The filtration is actually more in the other tank because it's a 20 gallon and it has the same filtration as this. The same light parameters, the same light. So it doesn't make sense to me why. The only thing I could think of as to why that tank always looks a little cloudy and is just not doing well is because of the substrate. Now, the second thing I don't like about is I don't like the Aquascape here. If you guys remember, I had a 10-gallon angle view here, and I kind of had this beachy feel. It was this white sand with a lot of light-colored rocks that anybody looked at it was like, oh, wow, it reminds me of the beach. I tried to replicate that with when I moved it to the 20-gallon with these new rocks, and it just doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't have that same feel. It just looks like a mess of plants, all over the place. So I'm not really happy with the Aquascape either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the fluorite, but instead of buying the black sand, I'm going to buy the regular fluorite, which is more of a reddish color, and it's more granular. It's not a sand. I have used it before. I'm going to swap this out. I'm also going to keep the tank. I'm going to empty it out, swap out the substrate with the fluorite, which gives a kind of a different look to it. I feel like it's a little more of a natural look, like a stream. And then I'm probably gonna get some driftwood, but not the same type as like that sculpture. I'm probably gonna get a piece of driftwood that is kind of lying down like a tree branch that has fallen. And then I'll use the same plants and I'll rescape. And I think that will solve the problem of this excessive algae. Now I know it's green algae; it's not really bad algae, but again, I'm not having this problem in the other tank, and the only difference here is the substrate, and it is just driving me crazy that these little balls of the Contra soil they're all over the place. They just keep popping up. So, part of it is one of the reasons why I didn't get large, regular Cory cats for this, because I figured that they would just stir up the sand. It would be an absolute disaster, but it's still happening. It's still happening anyway. So anyway, what I'm going to do is, now that I have this new computer and new editing software and whatnot, I'm going to try to, when I do the breakdown and rescape, I'm going to video it. I'm going to have it play back to you guys at like a double speed, so you're not sitting here watching me rescape a tank for an hour. I'll obviously try to edit it nicely so you can kind of see the. Sorry, my dog is barking. This way you can kind of see it in action. See how I escape. But again, I'm just not happy with not only the substrate, but I'm not really happy with the look of the tank overall. I mean, the fish are all doing great. I see my Amano there. The fish are doing really good. It's really good that the orange shrimp or pumpkin shrimp are, doing well in here. I think I have about 8 of them in here. Everybody's healthy, but I'm just not happy with the entire look of the tank. And listen, scaping is part of the fun. Is rescaping your tank. The red tiger lotus, the upper leaves are not doing that great, but look what's going on in the bottom leaves. One of the things about a red tiger lotus is they get very tall. Now even this one, I don't know why the vines are very, very thin. I mean, they're paper thin. That's not really normal. So there's just something, going on here that's not right. Usually they're much thicker. But one of the perks of this plant is if you cut those at the bottom, the response is that the plant will generate new growth lower down. So I'm hoping that eventually these will start rising to the top. Now, when I had CO2 injection in my other tank, it was crazy. A leaf would come out, and in one day it would move to the top of the tank. It was just mind-blowing. I don't have CO2 going on right now. I just kind of don't want to be bothered with it. I still have my CO2 set up. But if you look at my 30 gallon, which is where I had it, I never had a problem. All right. Hopefully, I edited this together. I had to stop the video for a minute. I had somebody at the door. Anyway, so that's my plan. This is probably not going to happen for about another week or so. But I'm going to try to video it. I got to go get a nice piece of driftwood. See what my local fish store has. I'll rescape this. I'm probably going to change the rocks out. I might actually move some of these rocks into the other tank because I didn't really love those black and white rocks in the other tank, but these rocks I kind of like. I have like a reddish type of rock that I've used in the past that is really, really nice looking. And I think it'll go kind of nice with the color of the new fluoride substrate. So that's my plan. Let me show you the plant weights that I use. All right, so these are the plant weights. These are some type of like clay, 2 sizes. I get these on Amazon. You get a bag of them, and you can put 2 or 3 stems in there. I put a little bit of crazy glue. Anyway, they basically last pretty much forever. They're very cheap. You get a bag full of them. Anyway, folks, like, subscribe, and I will do another video when I rescape that tank. Again, I'm thinking about 2 weeks is when I will, get all the supplies ready to do that. One thing about fluorite is you have to rinse the heck out of it. It is very dirty, dusty when you first get it. I go crazy. I watch some of these YouTube videos. People are not rinsing it enough, putting it in their tank. Their whole tank is black or red or whatever. You got to rinse this stuff like crazy. It's extremely dusty. But, you just keep rinsing it until the dust goes away. And then you put it in, you slowly fill the water up, and you're good to go. So make sure if you're going to switch to fluorite, and again, I highly recommend fluorite. It's fantastic. And it won't release too many nutrients into your tank. It really doesn't release anything. It more absorbs nutrients. I highly recommend it, and I'll go through that process when I set up the rescape the tank. All right. Anyway, so folks, like and subscribe, and I will put out another video as soon as I'm ready to redo that tank. Thanks all.